them, put them someplace, and kept this covered up forever. I just feel sure they didn't go give them a decent burial someplace. Maybe they cremated them. I don't know. I don't think we're supposed to do that. I think we're supposed to identify them. But they were never returned to the families. The families was never told, this one is yours and we found it, and this is the county we found it in. They never have done that yet.
In an email to me, you wrote that you think these people are the devil's disciples sent out into the world to infiltrate.
Right. Just like Jesus sent his people out to teach and get a following, these people are out there to teach and get a following. And they do it by force, though.
Yeah, and force usually doesn't work because there are people like me and like you who will fight back, and I know many, many other people who are fighting back. And I know my perpetrators through Voice of Skull and Microwave talk about the Antichrist, ushering in the Antichrist, and, he's going to rule, and we're here, we're going to kill you, you have to denounce Christ. As a matter of fact, at my gang rape, I was told to denounce Christ, the Jewish nation, and minorities, and I would not do it. And they have not been able to get me to turn against Christ, or the God of Israel, the one, that I worship. And I guess I was probably a very good target for this kind of abuse because of my Christian background and involvement. I know I work for Jewish lawyers, and they don't like it. It's a big problem with them. And you had mentioned earlier that they sometimes single out people for religious purposes. And
Christians and blood type.
And blood type?
Well, the Jewish people.
Okay, yes, because these people really, the horrible things that they say, it's awful to have to hear what they say. But they're always trying to turn you against God and into an evil life. And who would leave a great life of believing in God? And maybe you don't have much, but you have your freedom, and you have your family, and you have your friends, and you have your interests. Going along with these Satanists, you lose all that. You live in a dark corner. You're not allowed to earn finances. You're not allowed to have anything. They're not for a traditional family. So you're totally deprived of any kind of life. So who would willingly join that? That's why they have to go out in force.
Well, this is why they mess up the mind of their own children from birth, too, to make them controllable. And here comes the next generation. If one family has 4 or 6 kids, that's the next generation that's going to help do surveillance. And they can be on the time clock, and that's their evidence, that's their alibi that they were on the time clock, and they were not. They were out there busy watching us, victimizing us, trying to run us off the road, trying to kidnap our children and stuff like that. But the evidence says that they didn't do what we said they did. See what I mean?
Why do they hit children, though? Why do they go after children? Children are innocent. They really can't make up their own minds. They're not dealing with an adult.
Right. Well, because of the little children's bodies are a whole lot easier to haul around, and these people are pedophile rings to start with. I mean, that's the number one thing they're doing is they're pedophiles. They spend their entire life raping. The scumbag Nazi that I lived with pranced around like he was hot stuff and said, I deserve all the little virgins I ever want, and I'm going to get them, and nobody's ever going to stop me. And he was right. There was no one to stop him. Why was there not someone to just load up a gun, just blow his head right off his shoulder? The FBI said themselves, somebody should have killed him. Someone should have killed this one. Yes, someone should have.
I agree with you. I think all of them should be taken care of. But the fact is that there is a lot of police involvement. And I know with my rape, I couldn't get anywhere with the police. And I thank God for the hospital that I went to because they were the ones that helped me. But the Chicago police, they did nothing. And in fact, some of them are involved. They get involved just like you said. And children are easy targets. And I want people out there to know that they target innocent little children. And these people, we all need to fight back. Children should never be targeted. Never. Adults shouldn't be targeted either, but especially children. They're innocent. And this is just so evil. And these organized stalkers are evil. They'll target, like I said earlier, children. I've seen photos of children, infants, burned with electromagnetic weaponry harassment. And it's intolerable.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, they'll do just about anything. Yeah, the children's mind has to be warped while they're little. Everything is the opposite of reality to them. I spent a lot of time watching these people have little children, have their arm around a little child and point at me and say, whatever you do, kill her, make sure you kill her, and stuff like that, because they're warping their mind and they're teaching them to be psychopaths. Normal people will raise their child and teach them to be good citizens. These people do not raise a child. Them kids are sex toys. They teach them to be psychopaths, deliberate psychopaths. They learn stalking from the time they're little bitty. They learn how to be a peep and Tom and laugh because they get to look in somebody's window and somebody's in the shower. And they train these kids and they warp their mind that this is funny and this is good and we can get by with it. Getting by with it was a big deal with them people because they knew they were going to.
If a child grows up to say 14 or 15, and they're showing signs that they're not going to go with a satanic program, what happens to them? And what happens if a child shows that they're going to follow what they've learned? Then what happens to them? Are they promoted to the next level of the hierarchy? Do they go out and start doing this on their own? What happens?
The kids that refuse, just like I did, are beat up just like me and tortured and raped. That's why we went through what we went through, because we refused to join up with them. This is why we suffered. The kids that go along with them and say, yeah, I'm tired of the pain, I'm going to join up with you, they get rewarded. They have people talking about how good they are. They get to go shopping and they get new clothes for school, and they go to school and they say, look what new clothes I got, you ain't got nothing like this. And they get to be braggers, about how good they are compared to us. And their parents will brag about them and want people to hear it, that this is the best kid right here you ever seen. She minds, she's good. But minding means to a Nazi that you help kidnap other children. That's exactly what it means. When they sat around and they said that I don't mind and I can't be trusted, it meant that I refused to help kidnap other children. I was put in that situation. Man, I just let them beat me up. I wasn't going to help kidnap somebody else's child.
Well, you were very strong-willed, because a lot of people, they cave under that kind of pressure, especially children. They can't take that. So you are obviously very strong-willed, and I admire your courage and your strength in getting out of that and coming forward. When you were a child, or a child is being trained to be a stalker or a Satanist and a Nazi scumbag, as you referred to them, are they told as children to hate Christians and hate Jewish and hate minorities?
I think they do hate Jews, but they still were kind of quiet of what they said about me. They didn't want me to know very much. They wanted to keep me dumb, you might call it, and isolate me where I didn't know a whole lot. So a lot of what I learned from overhearing it. They wouldn't just say, this is what we are and this is how it's going to be. I had to piece it together, like connect the dots, like we say. And, yeah, they're just darn brutal on messing your mind up, that's for sure.
But they specifically do not like Christians or Jewish.
Right, yeah, they don't. Actually, I wasn't allowed to go to church, and, yeah, they hate Jesus. Well, like I said, that Mace Graveyard, we had survivors, and I can think of 4 survivors that came from Indiana. One was a little girl about 9 years old, and that was in 72, and we got her back up there. But the 2 kids that with her also come from Indiana, a little boy and girl, and they were absolutely slaughtered right there in the woods because the kids got out of his car and tried to run. And when I heard the screaming, I grabbed the one that I bumped into at the corner of the house. The other 2 was done dead. And I ran down the road with her and got her to Anna Mann's house, and we got her back to Indiana as far as we know, and that was 1972.
And these were Jewish children?